2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dunn It All show. Hopefully, everybody is doing good and doing well. Hopefully, everybody is being blessed. Y'all know it is election time. Election time. And it's just around the corner. One of the things I said when I got elected in 20, I wanted to make sure that I kept people informed about what's going on in the community as much as possible. Their leaders, their community leaders, the influential people that are not even elected. It's just people that just really step up to the plate and take charge of their community. You don't always have to be elected to be the person that takes control of your community and ensure that things go accordingly. But once you step into that elected position, that position itself comes with a lot of responsibility. It's really a thankless job because there's a lot of times that no matter what you do, people are still going to complain. Not knowing the resources that you had or did not have. Hindsight is always 20/20. They don't realize the challenges that you have or had. And they manage to always somehow pick you apart with knowing very little information regarding how everything came to fruition. How did things really get to this point? Sometimes you inherit a mess. Just this past week, we had Jared Hudson that's running for Jefferson County Sheriff. We had him on the show, and I thank him so much for coming on to the show. He's a Republican candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff. We really do appreciate him coming. We appreciate his insight. We appreciate him showing his platform. And he shared something that I challenge Republicans and Democrats alike, black and whites, and all races to consider. I asked him, I said, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on to the podcast show. I said, very rare I can actually get, Republicans or just other people to really come on the show. It's like, I wanted my show to be diversified. And he said, well, people just really hadn't invited us. I said, well, I'm going to invite you. And he took the invite. And I extended that same invite to our current sheriff, Mark Pettway, and gave them both the opportunity, and both of them responded. Now it's the time for our current sheriff, Mark Pettway, to actually be on the show and to talk more about his platform, to talk about the things that he's done, which, Sheriff Mark Pettway has a long history in law enforcement. His resume is very well-rounded and diverse, especially as it relates to Jefferson County. So if we're comparing experience, this man, he has it. So, but without further ado, I want to go ahead and let y'all speak or hear from the man, Sheriff Mark Pettway. Hey, Sheriff, how you doing, sir?
Doing good this morning, KD.
Hey, man, listen, I thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. Some people think that they can only speak to certain outlets, not realizing that we got listeners and social media people everywhere. They listen to everything. They listen to something from all platforms to really understand what's going on with the people they want to put in office. So we want to thank you for coming down here to Smash Bros Studio and to the Dunn It All show to really express your platform for Jefferson County Sheriff, because this would be you running for a second term. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Man, so within this first term, tell me what have now I know what you've done. I mean, so I'm not trying to insult you here, but you need to remind the people, what have you done since being in office this term, and what makes you qualified for this position now and to even be reelected to this position?
That's a good question there, and I'd love to just give you everything I've done, but we're going to hit most of the highlights. But when I ran for this office initially, I had a very big platform, and everything that we talked about on that platform, we have done it. We talked about transparency with law enforcement. We have cameras on all the deputies that you will see in the community. We talked about having a deputy in the schools. We have a deputy in every county school in Jefferson County here, and some in private schools as well in some of the other smaller cities. We have taken upon those cities to have a deputy in those schools as well to protect the students, protect the teachers, and protect the administrators. Also, another thing we talked about helping the inmates by lowering the recidivism rate, giving them opportunities to where they can live and get a job with livable wages. So that's exactly what we do every day in the county jail. We have a crew, we have a committee that goes in there to work with the inmates to make sure they get an education, they have skills to be employed. We have a employment agency that goes in there and will find a job for them and place them in those jobs before they leave. We have clergy that have donated clothing for the men and the women that are getting out to make sure when they show up to work, they show up dressed for success. So we have plenty of partnerships right there. And we believe in having good partnerships to make sure that we can make this community a better community. And one of the last things we talked about, we talked about training for the deputies. We have a brand new training facility. We train the deputies each and every day how to know their job and to do it proficiently, how to deal with individuals of different ethnicity, unbiased training, unbiased conscious training, de-escalation. Those are some of the things we teach out there at the academy. A brand new state-of-the-art facility that we have out there. We believe in training. We also have training for the citizens. If you want to come out there and get some free training, download our app, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, Alabama. Download that app, put it on your phone, whether you have an iPhone or an Android. Be sure you put it on the phone and take advantage of all the free training that we have for you and your community. We are trained to deal with how to defend yourself, how to use your firearm. Come on out there, get the free training. A lot of people come out there on the weekends. It's mostly on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. Come out there as a group, and we'll be glad to teach and train you how to defend yourself and how to use your handgun. And one of the last things I want to talk about is something that's so dear to me, and that is the crisis care center that's coming here. We were able to get together with all the legislators, Republicans and Democrats. We sat down at the table with them. We spoke to them about our heart to help those that have drug addictions, not just to power them up in our jail, but to help them get treatment. Those that have mental issues, we're doing the same thing for them because they need the help. Jail is not the place for them. And most of the time when they're in jail, they get worse, not better. So we want them to be functioning citizens in society. Once they get stable, they're able to go out there and to be just like everybody else. Sometimes it's their medication needs to be regulated. Once we get them to a place like the Crisis Care Center, that can help them become more stable, get back to their families, get back to their life. And I tell you, that touches everybody right there. I don't care who you are, Republican, Democrat, red, yellow, black, and white. It touches everybody. We all have to deal with people with mental issues, whether they're in our family, whether they're our friends, or somebody that we know. We have to deal with those individuals where we're walking up and down the street, going to a mall, or going to church. We deal with those individuals, and now we have training. I've been in law enforcement for 30 years, and I've never been trained to deal with someone with mental issues. Now we have that training. We're training all our deputies to deal with people with mental issues. We have a special team that can respond to people with mental issues. This is something that's never been done before. This is something brand new to us. And the Crisis Care Center will be opening in a few weeks. Our deputies are being trained right now. Every Monday and Tuesday, we're training our deputies. They're getting 16 hours worth of training, how to deal with people with mental issues, because when we encounter them, we don't want them to lose their life. And in many times in the past, that is what's happened, because those individuals, a lot of times, they can become combative. And when they're combative, a lot of times, without the proper training, we will have to defend ourselves. But right now, we're being trained how to de-escalate the situation, get it under control, get this individual to a place where they can get the help that they need. And we're so thankful for this good government that we're producing right here in Jefferson County. It's all about good government. We're looking out for the people. We're bringing the things that the people need, training for them in their community, helping those with drug addictions, those that have mental issues, looking out for the schools, taking care of all the schools. We're making sure that we do everything that is bring about good government here and most of all, it brings down the stats. Our stats are trending in the right direction. Crime is being lowered right here in Jefferson County in the unincorporated areas where the deputies patrol. Crime is down significantly. We're thankful to the deputies for the great job that they are doing. We are proud of the work that they do each and every day when they put their uniform on and go out to those different communities. We're so proud of what they're doing, and we're thankful for that great job. I hear people tell me all the time, hey, I see your deputies everywhere, and they're doing a great job. Never knew that, deputies can come in these areas, and they're proud of the work that the deputies are doing. They're thankful for what the deputies are doing, and so are we, and it shows. And the stats really show it, and we're proud and we're glad for what they're doing. So those are some of the things that we have done in our first term, other than also Jobs Not Jail, which we go out to the community and we touch the community about bringing resources to the community, help those that are in the community get jobs. We do expungements for those that can't get those jobs, who got a record. Some people came up to me and said, Mr. Pettway, we like what you're doing, but we can't get your jobs. I said, why? They said, because of our record, our background. I said, okay, we're going to see what we can do about that. So we brought on a team of lawyers, Chris Burrell, Nina Spears, Counselor Crystal Smitherman. We brought them on to help us to do expungements. We also now have George Travis working with us to do expungements, and they are
I know
free.
all those people. Those some good folks. I know all of them.
Yes, they are good people, and they do a great job helping the community. And I tell you, they do it free. They volunteer their time to come and help change the community free. And we're thankful. That's another partnership that we have right there to help change the community. Mm-hmm. We're not out there just trying to just lock everybody up. We don't mind putting the bad guy in jail. Don't get me wrong now. We will put the bad guy in jail. We have plenty of people in jail right now.
Exactly.
And jail costing us good money.
A lot of money. If someone is sick in jail, that cost is on us. We got to pay. As a matter of fact, I did pay for a guy to get to have heart surgery, and that was over $50,000. Yeah.
So jail can cost, if a person has medical conditions, it costs even more. So,
and you're the first one to do this. Jobs Not Jail. That's your thing, right? That's what you brought about, and I think that is one of the most cool things, because having been in law enforcement a little bit over half of the time that you've been, this is your 16th with me, so this is just 30 for you. So you got to do times 2 for me to get to where you at almost. But the thing about it is, I was a mental health court case manager before I became a police officer. I worked with TASK.
Okay.
And it was partnership between UAB and Jefferson County Court. At that time, we had Judge Virginia Vincent, which is what I was mental health court judge at the time. We had Pete Johnson that was over the drug court at the time.
Right.
So working with those judges, and man, this is when you were just a deputy at whatever at the time, and we had to come there and get those folks out of jail. We dealt with convicted felons, with nonviolent convicted felons with severe mental illness called SMI. Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is near and dear to my heart. That's what makes me even the well-rounded officer. See, people don't understand what we see or what we deal with, and the level of what the incarcerated individual goes through in jail when we know there are other avenues. Jail is not the answer for everybody. It's like, we have others that just say, well, just lock them up. No, there are other issues. There are ways on rehabilitating these individuals.
Absolutely.
On getting them to a better, living a better life. Because some people think the goal of jail, for me, sometimes it's like double, triple, and quadruple punishment. Mm-hmm. If I did a crime, I did my time, then why, after I'm out, I'm still being punished, and I'm still being punished? I can't take care of my family. We're supposed to be able to get these folks back on their feet, not to make them a permanent smear on society. Oh, that's a convicted felon. He's this, he's that. So the Jobs Not Jail thing, I tell you, man, that is cool, because it's literally setting people up for success, not failure. Because your mistakes don't make you.
Right.
They don't make you.
It's all about public safety. Those individuals, they don't want to be out there selling those drugs. It's a dangerous job selling drugs on the street.
Sure.
The streets are not safe. If they are able to learn a trade, get placed in a position where they can own their own business, work for somebody, make a livable wage, they would rather do that than to stand out there and worry about if somebody's coming by to shoot at them or somebody come by to rob them. It's a dangerous job for to stand out there on the street selling drugs. And if we get to those individuals and if we can help rehab them, then we can change that community around. We take an individual off that street who's been a threat to that street, providing illegal substances to that community. Man, we have done a great work all at once when we do things like that. It's thinking outside the box now because it's not been done before.
Exactly, and I love the innovative thinking, because people don't really think like that. I tell you this, Sheriff, and I'm just giving you several pats on the back, man. And this is just me being genuine. When you think outside the box, outside the norm, I'm fine with going against the grain. I really don't like doing what everybody else is doing. Being in law enforcement so long, people think they say this, Sheriff, it. Well, this is how it's always been done. Just because it's always been done a certain way does not mean it's the correct way. That means that way needs to be revisited because what was applicable 5-10 years ago is definitely just null and void now. You have to think out the box.
Absolutely. If you don't think outside the box, you're going to continue to get the same results. These communities are not going to change. We're at a point right now we have to change these communities because we deal with violence at a high level each and every day. If you notice, look at my numbers. Look at the numbers for unincorporated Jefferson County. They're going down. The deputies are doing a great job. We're looking to work with Birmingham, and we bring these resources into Birmingham, help get these individuals off the streets. Every day I hear that these guys that are joining these gangs, committing these crimes, are getting younger and younger. They already down to about 10 years old now, I guess. A lot of these individuals feel like, hey, they can go out there and commit these crimes and they can get away with it because of their age.
Yeah.
We have to reach these guys at an early age, start some type of program for them. And we're looking at doing it right now for our next term because if we don't, we're going to have something to really deal with in this next generation because they're younger. They don't have any fear. They're out there doing these things because there's no one out there guiding them. They have
social media is heavily influencing them.
Yes.
In a major way. And we're having to deal with that ripple effect from the top to the bottom. So, now we talk Birmingham. Hey, we'll take all the help you want to give us. I'll tell you that now, Sheriff, because it takes a collaborative effort and it takes a united front, between the different police chiefs and definitely, Jefferson County Sheriff. I mean, whether you know it or not, you're a powerful man. Having that position, Jefferson County Sheriff, I mean, that's a powerful position, but what they say, the heavy is the crown, but you have a lot of responsibility that comes with that. And I personally, I love the way that you're doing it. I love your humility. I love how you're being innovative with the different programs, from the jobs, not jail, the crisis center. Let's get into that just a tad bit. That opens when, Sheriff?
Well, it's under construction right now.
Okay.
It was scheduled to be open early this year, but they are expanding the crisis care center. We were up there just a few weeks ago to look at the construction. It's coming on real nicely. I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna benefit people like you, people that are out there on the ground, police officers, because you know how it is when you deal with someone, you get them off the street who have maybe a drug addiction, who's going through DTs, or someone who's out there having a mental issue. You got to take them to the hospital.
Got to. That takes your deputy out of service.
Right.
Your officer out of service.
Absolutely.
Can't answer no calls.
Right. For a whole shift.
A whole shift.
But listen now, we have a change in the way we do things. The crisis care center will allow you to take that individual to the crisis care center, and within 10 minutes, you're in there and out.
Yeah.
10 minutes now.
Yeah. And now who's leading that front on the civilian end? Is it a partnership like with like JBS or
yes.
Is JBS?
JBS is spearheaded. We're so thankful to be able to have the partnership with JBS and NAMI to deal with those agencies.
And people that don't know, NAMI is National Alliance with Mental Illness, and JBS is Jefferson, Blount, Shelby County. These are
St. Clair.
St. Clair. Yeah. these are the ones that provide these mental health services to these individuals, and they cover a large area, and they're very far reaching. So that's huge as far as progression, and is literally with a nationwide shortage of officers. This is unprecedented what we're seeing right now, and for that to be done, and that's being spearheaded right now, that just boost of relief. Just somebody's finally hearing what we've been saying for so long about, hey man, like I gotta go sit with this guy. Like I don't even know anything about mental illness. Schizoaffective disorder. Somebody give me a dictionary? Or dealing with that the same way we had to deal with the rape response, saying, when they partnered with us, they helped us out tremendously. It's just like, these are sensitive issues, sensitive topics that when I say we officers are not cognizant of. I've just been blessed enough to have a well-rounded background to be aware of the mental illness portion, to know what I'm dealing with, to know these people, and not only that, know the resources, the fellowship house, the JBS, the Pearson Hall, all these places where you just trying to say, hey man, can we get this guy over here, please? He literally has a drug addiction, or she has, a mental illness. And man, getting this center up is a benefit on both fronts for the sheriff's office. Hold on. Now, speaking of that, I know benefits the sheriff's office will help us out too on the other municipalities. Can we get some relief?
for all the agencies right here, it's available and open to them.
Okay.
And all they got to do is go and drop the individual off at the care center, and they're back in service within a few minutes. But let me tell you something. When I first took office, I was approached by a young lady, and she was telling me the story about her son. She lost a son. He had mental illness, and she called law enforcement, and she just wanted help with her son, and her son ended up losing his life in a situation in which she called law enforcement. My heart really went out to her. I don't know how she feel about calling law enforcement again, now that she's called him and lost his son. But also, after talking to her and asking me, what are you going to do about people with mental illness? So that was put on me, and it opened up my eyes. Yeah, what am I going to do about people with mental illness? Then I also was approached by two young ladies named Susan, one named Susan Sally, another one named Susan Beatty Pierce, and they talked to me about mental issues and mental health, and they was telling me about a grant that was out there. I said, okay, that sounds great. She said, we've been trying this for years and years and years, and we've never gotten anywhere with it. I said, wow, this has been something that can help me with that charge that was given to me about what are you going to do about mental illness. So I said, hey, all right, I tell you what, we'll get a committee together to go and talk to those that are in control right here to be able to help us get this grant to be able to have a crisis care center here. We are the largest county in the state of Alabama. Birmingham is the largest city. We had the largest population of people with mental illness and drug abuse right here in Jefferson County. If any county in the state of Alabama needed it, we should have been the first one to get it.
Yep.
We were not the first. It was not a priority to the leadership at the time. So I sat down and I listened. So I said, hey, let's form a committee and let's go talk to our legislators. And we did exactly that. We talked to the Republicans. We talked to the Democrats.
You have to get those parties together. Have to.
Right. We had to get every last one of them heard us, and they signed off on the
That's awesome.
Crisis Care Center, and we were able to get the grant. That's good government.
Yeah.
That's the government we talk about, working for the people right there. That is good government. And that's what people want. People want good government. It's not about Democrat or Republican. It's about good government.
Thank you.
And I work for everybody. I don't care who you are. I work for everybody. I am the sheriff of everybody
in Jefferson County.
In Jefferson County. So it's all about good government for everybody that I serve. I'm a servant for the people, and I come to serve them at a level in which they deserve.
man, and that's the thing. We all deserve equal treatment. People say things like equal representation. Representation is not indicative of how the person looks. Representation is those that really understand and have taken the opportunity to hear my concerns. So you cannot represent me if you don't know my concerns, and but the concerns does not represent my physical features. You understand what I'm saying? Because people really equate that to say, well, how can he represent me? Because I've experienced that on my end. I'm talking from your end and from my end. I've experienced that when things change, when there's a shift, some people feel like they're not being represented.
And you know what? You see me all over the county.
I do,
and I talk to people of all color. I'm very, people say he's a very approachable. He's very.
You are.
Very
I ain't gonna lie. You are. You're super approachable. I love that. Some other people just think they just so high on the horse. You are. I'm gonna give it to you, Sheriff. You are.
and one thing I do, I listen to the people. That's what my job entails, to be able to listen to the people, to see what I can do to make their life better, make their community better. And I want to hear those things. And I tell the same thing to my deputies. We got to listen to the people, because they're there longer than we are. They know more about what's going on than we do. But if we listen, we can see some of those things.
Sounds like community policing.
It is. Exactly. That's what we have to do on a daily basis to make those communities better and safer. If we don't listen to the people that lives in those communities, we can't make those communities safer, better.
And not just showing up when there is drama or some type of negativity. That's when the community policing comes in. I spoke about this with your other the candidate, Jared Hudson, and we differed on that. And I think he used the definition. He actually said do target policing versus community policing, and I guess our definitions were just different, because community policing to me is when we actually are involved in the community, when you are actually going to talk to Miss Williams and Mr. Johnson on the porch and say, hey, how you doing? It's not like we were summoned. We're there, and those are some of the sweetest people, because they say, "Baby, you want some water?
Right.
Baby, listen, we got some. Go get him a sandwich back there. Go get you some chips." They look out for you because you show that you actually care. And the beauty of it is, a lot of us are products of that community, and they know our mamas, they know our grandmamas, they know our aunties, and that's the beauty of community policing. And Jerry used the word targeted. And I didn't like that, and it made me feel. And I told him that on the show, and decided, I gave him a chance to explain it. Targeted, you cannot use targeted around black people, because you got to understand how we were treated by police, and police was another form of slave catchers, and how we, as even black police officers, when we put on that police uniform, on how we have to recreate the mold and the brand of what a black police officer looks like, instead of them saying, oh, there goes that, you're Uncle Tone, you working for the man. I was like, no, do you not know the significance and sheer importance of kids that look like me and I look like them, and how they feel like, oh, well, okay, maybe the police ain't so bad because he's a nice guy.
You know what? It's all about bridging the gap, right?
Yes.
That's what I do every day. I bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community. It's bridging the gap. Correct. Now, there is a big gap. There's a gap, but it's closing now, because we're getting into the community. We're talking to the individuals. When you target, you can miss.
Yeah.
And when you target, you may not be always on target. And sometimes what you have to do, you have to be consistent. They want consistency. They don't want to see you today. You might not show back up next year.
Yeah.
That is not consistency. Now, you see me in the community, feeding the community. I have brought food trucks into the community all around here in Jefferson County, bringing food to underserved
You did the thing
communities.
for the kids. You did the game thing. You had like a little thing. I love the kids. I got my mentor program, Ties to Success. I love the kids, because that's our future. I got 3 kids on my own. Man, I'm a tough lover when it comes to the kids, because I'm hard as nails on them, because I want to see them succeed. And when you do things like what you did, you brought the game trailer, you had like events and stuff for the kids. That's keeping the kids involved, and then Okay, well, hold on. Let's talk about history, and people need to understand this too. You are the first black sheriff of Jefferson County. Am I correct? I need to remind people of that. So that momentous moment reminds us of even when Barack Obama was elected and how they made us feel. I talked about this with, again, I told Jared I keep the interviews similar. It's something about, we talked about Disney and how Disney, the issue that came up with Ariel, when people saw the black character. And some white folks were kind of riled up out there. And I was like, well, hold on, it's something about seeing people that look like you, because otherwise you will feel like you're not important. Like society does not like you, or you are scarred. You're ugly, and or you're not smart. You're stupid. Things of that nature. And when you got to this position and elected this position, whether you realize or not, you actually gave little black boys in the neighborhood hope. Like, wow, look at him, look at Danny Carr, oh, they look like me. And that is a cool thing. That is no shade to the white folks, because white folks, y'all got plenty of people y'all can look up to. Us as African Americans, we have very few. So forgive us for being overprotective of our African American leaders, because we have very few that are on the forefront of really making us look good, making us proud, because we've been told far too long that we were not good enough, we were not smart enough, we were never enough. And then when that breath of fresh air comes in, it's like, whew, thank you. So I just want to tell you thank you for that, man. With the kid, I'll let you go ahead and say on what you want to say about that, but I just had to chime in. That was a cool event.
For a long time, there was what they call a ceiling.
Yeah.
And once you reach that ceiling, that's as far as you can go. And we had some people that come before us that broke through that ceiling.
Yeah.
That opened up doors for people like me. I may be the first black sheriff here in Jefferson County, but Lucius Amerson was the first black sheriff in the state of Alabama. He didn't play. He was down in Macon County. He did not play. Mm-hmm. He did things his way, but he did it by the law.
Did it the right way.
He did it the right way. And he had to do things a little bit differently. People like him opened up doors for people like me. We had people like Johnny Johnson, Anetta Nine. Those people broke through the ceiling. They broke through the ceiling.
Yeah.
And we're so thankful for what they have done to open up doors for people like me to be able to sit in a seat like this. And now I go around to the different schools, the different communities, and I tell the kids, you can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. There's nothing stopping you but you yourself.
Correct.
So I let them know, dream your dreams.
Yeah.
You got to have a dream.
Yeah.
Without a dream, a vision, a goal, you're not going anywhere.
Aimless. You're lost. But it's people like you that actually help keep our dreams and hopes alive, because we say that it can be done. It has been done. And they can say, well, I can do it. It's that hope and that glimmer. And especially when you carry yourself the way you do. I see your beautiful wife and your two beautiful daughters. And they're like, oh, he just married man like me, got kids, and and you understand, family values and things of that sort. It's just like you are a real guy. I'm gonna give you kudos again. Let me tell you how cool this guy is. Like, if he got a picture of you in his phone and it's your birthday, he gives regular birthday shout outs. Like, it's almost pretty much every day. I don't know if he doing it or somebody on his staff doing it, but either way, he gives regular birthdays like, hey, happy birthday to my good friend, la 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 la, and he'll have the picture of them. Normally it's not just the verbiage. It's actually 90+% of the time it's a picture that accompanies that. See, some people, and I think he even did it for my wife one day. I was like, hey, happy birthday to Chris. I was like, what? That's cool. Now some people are like, oh, he just said birthday, but no, there's the sheriff saying happy birthday.
It's called a personal touch.
Yeah. See, they don't understand that, sheriff. They don't understand it. It's for me. It's the small things that go a long way, and you by far, I learned from you. Believe it or not, like I'm just a little city councilman. Yeah, we broke history over here on this side too. But when I see you, I'm like, man, I want to do that like he did. I need to remind myself to give people take these pictures. So I'm gonna let you know up front, Sheriff. I'm going to steal some stuff from you. I'm going to. I do the same thing with Mayor Randall Wolfen. I take a lot of stuff he did. I jack politics stuff. I learn. It's positive jacking. I just want to let y'all know. So man, y'all, you doing great things, and the people are watching, and we know that you have challenges that are beyond your control. I had to spend a significant amount of time explaining that to the citizens of Pleasant Grove, sidebar wise, because when the incident happened with the burglary suspect and people saying, oh, well, he just left him out. Like, okay, know what you're talking about before you start talking. Know the resources that he has and did not have at the time. Know what he knew at that time and what he did not know at the time. Know what are exigent circumstances and what are not. Know what a violent offender is and a non-violent offender is. Know what a crime against person and a property crime is. Okay, people, we have to weigh this thing called liability, and we have to take into a lot of things before we make that decision. Because I can guarantee you, if something goes south, especially right now, they're not going to look at that deputy. They're not going to look at that officer. They're not even going to look at the chief over here in this department. They're going straight to this man right over here, your Jefferson County Sheriff, and say, he did this. They're literally waiting on him to make a mistake. And when he makes the decision that he makes, it was kind of like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like, people are going to have something to say either way. But I gave Jared time to give his 2-3 cents on that, because I saw people using that as a political avenue to get him involved with. That's just you on the sideline just like everybody else, just trying to see, and you don't know what the sheriff has to take into consideration. So could you explain, just expand as much as you want to on that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. I'll be glad to. And I was really, first of all, shocked that this was a story that was brought about on the news. And the story should have been about, I guess, the guy that stole the guns instead of about the two different agencies. But yeah, we were called out to assist Pleasant Grove. And we did exactly that. We sent all our resources here to assist Pleasant Grove. Mm-hmm. We sent our SWAT team. We sent our helicopter.
Star One. Yep. I saw it.
And we sent 2 negotiators that end up arriving a little bit later after the SWAT team.
Mm-hmm.
We got there on the scene, and the guy had run into his own
house.
His own home.
His house.
Nobody there but him. There's no hostages or anything. He's in his own home. They know who he is, and they wanted us.
Didn't kidnap nobody.
No, he didn't kidnap anyone. There was no dangerous situation at this time, and they wanted us to kick the door in, and there was no warrant. Yeah. Now, we could have created a Breonna Taylor situation. We don't know if that man would have been standing there with a gun or what the situation could have been, and there was no warrant. And we would have done that, and we would have taken his life. We would have been liable, not Pleasant Grove Police Department, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. So the sergeant that was in charge of the SWAT team called back to the captain. And he told the captain what he had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the captain told him to just stand down. We can't kick the door in.
Correct.
And when Jeff Pleasant Grove heard that, they were not happy with not being able to kick the door in.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, we don't need you. If you're not going to kick the door in, we don't need you. And that was kind of, wow, well, we got other things to do. So the part of the SWAT team went on to the next stop to serve a warrant. We had 2 sergeants that stayed on the scene, and plus a negotiator stayed there. And they went on and called
Vestavia.
Mm-hmm. Vestavia came there. Vestavia did not kick the door in.
They brought negotiators themselves.
They brought negotiators, and they did the very same thing
that you did.
We were going to do. And by the way, no one spoke to me about that incident. I was not called. The chief didn't talk to me. Nobody on the scene talked to me. They talked to the commander. And they talked to the captain that was in charge. And they made the right decision. And but it should have been something that made television. The reporters should not have been there. They made this political, not me.
Correct.
And if the chief had a problem, the chief has my number. He should have called me.
Yeah.
And that we could have handled that without taking it to the networks. Correct. That should have been something aired out in the networks. That should have. If he had a problem, he could have aired it out with me. But we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
We responded. We came there to aid them.
Correct.
We didn't come there just to look spectate. We came there to aid them. But what they were asking, we legally could not do.
Correct.
So I
had to explain to them fruits of the poisonous tree, Sheriff. And people don't understand that if there is one hiccup that occurs during the course of an investigation, everything thereafter is gone.
That would have ruined the whole
case.
It sure would have.
The whole case.
Right.
You're not above the law, Sheriff.
No, I'm not.
You have to follow the law, right?
Absolutely.
I have to follow the law, right? You got to follow the Constitution, right?
Absolutely. We cannot violate somebody's rights.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. So, I wanted to give you the opportunity to say that. I was not going back and forth with anybody on these social media outlets. I talked to people sidebar wise because it's like going down a rabbit hole sitting here talking about, Facebook attorneys and Facebook police and all y'all got y'all honorary FB badges and on your arms and your shoulders and your chest with your prop guns. I mean, y'all don't understand, and your furry handcuffs. You don't understand what all of this encompasses and what it consists of. There are rules to this. There are rules of engagement. There are rules to this. You cannot just go and do what you want to do, how you want to do it, because that's what I saw fit. No, legally you can and you cannot do this. We can destroy a whole case, 1. And then 2, we can get sued. And 3, guess what? If we do something that's really out of the way, we go to prison.
Right.
We didn't want to create another Breonna Taylor situation.
Yeah.
No, man, it's like this. It kind of made my blood boil because people really don't know, and they really don't understand what all of this really entails, what really comes with it. And the stuff that you see on NCIS and all these other little cop shows, it is not real. They do that for ratings so they can make y'all feel a certain type of way. You can't you can't shoot somebody in 20 minutes and then they say, no, you back out there answering calls. No, it don't work that way. No. And you get to go home like, no, it's a lot. Right. It's a lot.
That's right.
And the sheriff has to make, and now, again, I'm not taking up for him. I'm actually just telling you the truth.
Right.
Because I am a law enforcement officer myself and been doing it for 16 years. I haven't been doing it for 31. Like this gentleman over here, 32, 30. Anyway, 30 plus. Yeah. All right. That's how I can get it right.
We don't mind putting the bad guy in jail. We don't have a problem doing that.
We love putting the bad guys in jail.
Right.
We love it.
We do it every day, but you got to do it the right way.
The right way. So y'all heard it from Sheriff Mark Pettway himself, the man. So Sheriff, in closing, what you want to tell the people? I want to go ahead and give you this last segment on whatever it is that you want to say and tell the people about you in closing and why they should support you on November the 8th.
Well, Katie, I thank you, first of all, for giving this opportunity for to come and speak to the people. I've enjoyed the conversation that we had today. Has been very, very enlightening. You've been a very good host. I just want to thank you for that. The people that are listening, hey, I'm Sheriff Pettway. Exactly what you see is what you get. We believe in going out there, making our community safer for everybody. I don't care if it's a program that we put forth or if it's people that we put in jail. We do it all to make the community safer for everybody. So we're asking that when you go to the polls next week, please consider the job that we have done to make the community safer. Our numbers are trending in the right direction. The deputies are doing a great job. We're just about fully staffed. We're only down maybe 26 individuals. We appreciate everything that the deputies are doing each and every day when they go out there, put their life on the line for you, the citizens, the community. And we want to make sure that going forward, we have a good plan, a vision to continue to make the community safer. We're looking at doing a metro jail, combining all the small jails into one jail. The crisis care center should be opening up soon. Please go by there, look at it. And all the law enforcement will be thankful and glad for what we have. But please get out and go vote, because Wednesday morning, you can't wake up and say shoulda, woulda, coulda, because it's already done. And I don't want you to have any regrets on anything. Make sure you check out all the candidates and vote for the candidate of your choice. Pray about your decision, and then go out there and make it. Thank you. God bless you is our prayer. We want everybody to get out and go vote next Tuesday. Thank you.
Well, y'all make sure y'all go out and vote. And if you have need transportation issues, Sheriff Pettway has it posted, a link posted on his social media page to where you can actually click, and he can assist you with getting a ride to the polls. So there's going to be no excuse, and I do mean no excuse, as to why you could not get to the poll other than you just being lazy. And then whatever the decision is, the results that come out the following morning, they are what they are. If you voted, then you voted, and you voted for your person. But if you did not vote, believe me, I will tell you, I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't care what direction you vote in. That's your choice. You don't have to tell me. It doesn't matter. Vote for the person who best represents you. Okay? If it's Sheriff Mark Pettway, cool. If it's his opponent, then cool. Vote. Okay? Vote for the person that is the right person. Okay, let me be clear. It's too many times where we vote for people because they look like us, or they that's my mama friend, that's my uncle friend. Vote for the person that actually can do the job. Vote for the person that actually cares for the community. Vote for the person that has been doing the job before they got the job. Okay, vote for that person that's really carrying that torch the way you want it to be carried. All right. So thank y'all again for tuning in to the Dunn It All show. I want to thank again Sheriff Mark Pettway for coming on and gracing us with his presence. Until next time, I love y'all. Be merry, be blessed, and make sure you go out there and vote on November the 8th. Love y'all. Have a great day.